Hi, everyone. Welcome to Solicitous. Welcome back to Solicitous. I hope everyone is having a beautiful day. We finally have some sun here today, and I guess it's going to be sunny all week from what I hear. The sun actually just disappeared. I had that light just perfect, and then the sun disappeared on me. But it'll probably come back. I hope. Fingers crossed. I'm ready for the sun at this point. So today I want to go over the last article for what is the last article that I've found. I found last night, and go over that and about Jack and Lilly. It's the latest update that I could find. Now, I don't know if there was one put out yet today. If there was, I haven't read that yet. And then after that, I want to go over some other cases of missing people here in Pictou County and the nearest district to us that borders, not district, county that borders us. So they're very close. So let's go over now. This is from the Globe and Mail. They want you to subscribe. Now, last night, somehow on my phone, I was able to get this article without subscribing. It allowed me to read it. And then it blocked me again because I'm not subscribed. So when I got this article, I quickly took pictures because I knew they're probably going to block me. I'm not going to be able to get it on here today. So we're going to go to my email account for Solicitous, solicitous00@gmail.com. And that is my email in connection with my channel. So we're going to go over there. I'm going to pull up the pictures off of there and share them with you. And we're going to go over that last article. And then after that, we will go to some other articles of things that have been going on here in Pictou County over the last, I guess I would say, couple of years. I think the latest article might have been maybe just last year. Might be over the last year. But anyways, we'll see when we look at the dates. And last month, I believe it was last month, there was an attempted abduction right here in Pictou County. Now that is extremely rare here in our county, and it's extremely rare to have 2 children missing as well. Any children missing, but 2 on top of that. So I don't know, guys. I'm just I'm just not getting the feeling that the parents had anything to do with this, besides the fact that the kids did wander outside, and we could probably give them a few slaps on the wrist. Education from our local children's welfare, and definitely that. But outside of that, I'm not sure that they've done anything nefarious. I'm just wondering if this was a crime of opportunity and that these children were abducted. I mean, that is a possibility. It's not being spoke of a lot. I've spoke of it in my previous videos. Everybody seems to want to condemn these poor parents, and until there's anything to show, that they should be condemned, I think, I think we need to keep our minds open and not, if these parents didn't, and I do say parents because he has been in their life. You have to think of it. Now, Jack would have been 1 and Lilly would have been 3. And one of the things I read had stated from him that, and I think I read it in my last video, that if a stranger did come up in a car and offered them something or said, well, you know, we're going to take you to see mom and dad. So, and I had wondered that, you know, did they call him dad? Because Jack was a baby, 1 year old, and Lily was 3, which to me is still a baby. But you know what I'm saying. So it does sound like they call him dad. He's not playing, but he's taken on the parenting role. So that's why I say parents. So let's just keep an open mind. Okay, let's I know it doesn't sound like the RCMP are going in that direction yet. But by the time they decide that they need to go in that direction, if it's possible that they do, I mean, a lot of time has passed by. And there are other missing people here in Pictou County. And those Pictou County and close to, you know, right on the bordering county. And those cases are all unsolved, and one of them is a young child as well. So again, I just worry about the processes that are used in cases like this, and the wait time, and you know, when abductions take place, time is of the essence. So it concerns me. And I mean, I hear people saying, well, geez, do people in Pictou County don't think that the RCMP know what they're doing? You don't trust what they're doing? Well, when you know of these other cases, and also the case of the impersonator of the RCMP officer, and you can look that up, that whole case that happened here in the neighboring county, you know, and the mistakes that took place there with how the alerts were put out, that whole thing went to court. So if you read that, and then we have the case that happened in, I can't remember if it was out west or Ontario, of, I believe it was the 4 RCMP officers that were all unalived when they, you know, when there were so many mistakes there, when they were sent to an area, because you have to remember that RCMP officers, the way it works here in Canada with those officers, they're not put back after their training of where they're from. So if you know, I actually have a family member who's an RCMP officer, an in-law, and I've had other in-laws as well in my first marriage. So that's not how that works after their training. They're not put back to, you know, you're from Pictou County, you go back to Pictou County. No, you're sent somewhere else in Canada, and that's just how it works. And if you ask for a transfer, you're not getting a transfer back to your home ground. You know, so what happened in this case, that where the 4 officers were unalived, they weren't familiar with that area, and they weren't familiar that they were being sent to the man that was known as the very violent individual in town, that people in that area, and you know, that other people in that office, our CMP office, were aware of this individual and how violent he could be and protective over his land, always making threats. Everybody was afraid of this man in town, and they were sent there, and he ended up unaliving him. And that was the whole thing that took place, and I believe changes were made with some processes there due to that whole incident. So anyways, that is why us folks, we're kind of on the fence of, is this process being done correctly? Were these kids abducted and the RCMP are just overlooking this, and this is going to be another case that's just put on the shelf because it wasn't solved, and they're going to try and do a Mr. Big, that's what they call it. Pretty sure that's what it's called. One of their Mr. Big stings, and continue to believe that these parents did something and think that they're going to catch them later down the road with their Mr. Big sting, and these kids end up never being found, or this never ends up being solved. So those are the fears I have, and I know these are not my children, but these are sweet, precious little babies from this county that we live in. And then these other cases that I'm going to go over as well. This is what's taking place around us, and we're supposed to be properly protected. And it just kind of concerns you when you're, living around this. It starts to make you worry a bit. Me, anyways. Maybe that's just me. Anyways, done with my rant for now. So let's go over the last, make sure I share. Let's go over the last article that was put out yesterday by the Globe and Mail, which unfortunately, as I said, doesn't like to share their articles unless you are a paying customer. And yeah, anyways. So keep in mind, I had to take screenshots on my phone and then send them to my email, and this is what we're looking at. So 2 Nova Scotia children are missing. Here's a timeline, and of course that's Jack and Lilly Sullivan, and you will see their picture on my thumbnail. With this story, I will always show their thumbnail. 2 Nova Scotia children are missing. Here's a timeline of key events since the siblings vanished. 6-year-old Lilly Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack were reported missing on May 2nd. Now there's a view of Lansdowne. It's blown up there, make it look so big, but it's not big. They only have, I think it's 60 some kids in the little school out there. Okay. The community is in Fairflung Corner. The community is in a Fairflung corner of Pictou County, with the closest town a 15-minute drive away. Few local cars, logging trucks, and the big yellow school bus are usually the only traffic to be seen. A network of backcountry roads that only the locals know, crisscross rivers and dense forests that's swarming with black flies. Oh yeah, that's a definite. There's no cellular service, and there's the very rare place still here in Pictou County, and that would definitely be one of them for sure, that does not have cell service. Oop. I should flip over there. Yeah, I am sharing it. I just want to make sure, because sometimes I do this and end up realizing the screen wasn't shared. The mysterious disappearance. Wait now, Lilly. Ooh. Lilly and Jack Sullivan, along with their mother Malaya Brooks Murray and baby sister Meadow, moved to the community 2 years ago. Now, I hear a lot of people in the gossip mill and on Facebook and whatever saying 3 years. Well, they've been together for 3 years, and then she moved in with him 2 2 years ago. Baby sister Menno moved to the community 2 years ago. So my assumption would be, because the baby is almost a year and a half, that she was probably pregnant at that time, I would say. So into the childhood home of Daniel Martel, pictured. Yeah. The mysterious disappearance of 2 young children from their mobile home in rural Nova Scotia hamlet of Lansdowne has captured headlines around the world. It's been more than a week since police and search and rescue teams began scouring the thickly wooded land and waterways, searching for any trace of the 6-year-old Lilly Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack. So sad. I think about it. I think about it all the time when I wake up through the night, which I do a lot because of pain. I take my phone and I look to see if there's any updates that they, found them. Still hoping and praying and fingers crossed that they, find them alive. And maybe that's why I'm thinking kidnap, because my brain just wants to go to that little bit of piece of hope that if they were kidnapped, they could still be alive. And, that's just how our brains work. Oh, I guess that was the last one. It said pictured here, yeah. And there is the home for anybody that hasn't heard about this yet. There's the picture of the home, and you can see some kids' toys there. And there are kids' toys out here, but you can't see them because that vehicle's there, and there's kids' toys all over this property. You can see a little tiny bit right here of the, I guess, I don't know if you call that a fifth wheel. No, I guess it's a Winnebago. Here where his mom stays, and I believe the brother stays there too. And then they stay. Malaya left, as we went over in the last video, but this is where they all were staying. And you can see the wood there. You can see, obviously they have heat. I'm sure they have lots of heat and food because this is family land. They wouldn't be paying rent. Taxes are very cheap where they live because they don't live in town, although this is all considered rural. It's rural to Pictou County. So taxes are very cheap. So any money they do generate would be going pretty much towards heat, food, and no doubt what the kids need. So it's probably pretty easy living, honestly. And I know everybody's picking apart this property. I just can't do that. I can't pick apart the way people live. I've been in and out of many homes in my career, due to my career. And it's just not in me to do that. Yeah, and we don't know. They could be saving money because that's land they own, family passed down. They could be saving money to build a home there, put a brand new mini home on there, or something like. None of that stuff is known to us because honestly, it's none of our business, and it shouldn't be the focus. So back over. Oh, wait, now that's not. Three. Okay. So, and I like how they really did a nice timeline with the dates. So April 29th, 2025. The last day Lilly and Jack Sullivan attend Salt Springs Elementary, a small rural school about 18-kilometer bus ride from their home. And that, yeah, so April 29th, 2025 is the last day. And that is a Tuesday, and we went over that in my last video for the rumor mill. So rural, small rural school, about 18-kilometer bus ride from their home. There was no school that day, and the children were kept at home May 1st and 2nd, owing to May 1st and 2nd due to illness, according to Mr. Martell. And to me, I really want to pay attention to what he's saying. He's given a lot of information. And, oh, I wanted to show the backyard there too. And I want to pay attention closely to what he's saying. So it doesn't seem like the RCMP are listening. I hate to say that, because he was saying right from the beginning he thought they could be kidnapped. And I mean, there's crimes of opportunity, and I talked about that in my first video. These things happen. So this is the backyard. You can't completely see their swings there, but they got the nice little wooden seat to sit on. So there's swing set made for them. There's their play stuff here. Chicken coop over there, which I think is pretty cool for kids to see. And I guess the father said, sorry, the stepfather, that they would help feed the chickens and all of that. Nice little life for children, honestly. Those are the things kids should be learning, experiencing. So May 2nd, 2025, at approximately 10 a.m., Miss Brooks Murray calls 911 to report Lilly and Jack missing. RCMP issue a vulnerable missing persons alert in Pictou County and asked for the public, and they didn't put that out until the 3rd. Like I said, they put 2 out back to back and around 5:30, which I have a picture of with the timestamp on it. Missing persons alert in Pictou County and asked for the public's help in locating children who they say are believed to have wandered off from the home. Please do not issue an Amber Alert, and that upsets me. Saying an abduction appears unlikely, which I don't know how they would know that, and the case does not meet the necessary criteria. And yes, there is a criteria. The good old process that has to be followed. And if you don't meet it, you're not getting an Amber Alert. So, and that's how that works. Many of roughly 100 people who live in Lansdowne are related and have been there for generations. Lilly and Jack, along with their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, and baby sister, Meadow. Their names, I love their names, Lilly, Jack, and Meadow. Moved to the community 2 years ago into the childhood home of Daniel Martell, who describes himself as the missing children's stepfather. And I do believe that he played a parent role. I do. And I don't know if I said this in my last video, but the way it is in Canada, here in Nova Scotia anyways, after you live together for a year and more, you are considered common law spouses. So she would actually own half when you think of it that way. Like it's half and half everything, like you were married. You do your taxes as though you were married, and so on. Yeah, the children's biological father has no contact with them, according to their family. That's sad. Mr. Martell's mother also lives on the property in a dilapidated, I don't know why they would have to say that, just say she lives in a camper. Also lives on the property in a camper with multiple cats and a dog. It overlooks the fenced-in backyard where Ms. Brooks Murray and Mr. Martell reported they must have escaped from the, where they must have escaped from and wandered off. May 3rd, RCMP issue a broadcast intrusive alert. And that's the alert that I was saying that I received 2 of them back to back. I don't know what other alert they're talking about. I'm assuming they're talking about the local radio that nobody listens to. I mean, and this has been an issue with them. Update how you're doing things. This is what happened with the incident with the individual who impersonated an RCMP officer and unalived, I think it was 17 people. It was up in the teens anyways. I should have pulled that one up too. It won't be hard. And the way they're putting out their alerts. So you must know that pretty much nobody's listening to the local radio station that we have that everyone complains about, Anyways, there'd be about 2 people listening to it. I'm being sarcastic, but you're getting my point. I'm on a rant again. Sorry. Dear. May 3rd, 2025, RCMP issue a broadcast intrusive alert, and that was around 5:30. They did that. A public cell phone notice that the children are missing to people in Antigonish, Colchester, and Pictou County. And I actually thought that was an Amber Alert because I didn't know we called it an Amber Alert here. So I thought this is what our Amber Alert is. And I thought it would, that's what was going on. And when I found out, no, that's not an Amber Alert, it just went out to the neighboring counties in Pictou County, I was so upset. The Mounties Major Crimes Unit becomes involved in the investigation. So May 3rd, the Mounties Major Crimes Unit becomes involved in the investigation. So did they find something that made them believe that had to be the path they need to take, or is it just following the process and this is just going to turn into another unsolved missing persons case because processes are being followed and they're just got that one way thinking? The parents had something to do with it. May 3rd, those are all my thoughts. Sorry. I had a really good sleep, so I got lots of thoughts today that are just swirling around in this brain. May 3rd, 2025, Ms. Brooks Murray and Mr. Martell attend a briefing at the Search and Rescue headquarters on nearby Lansdowne Station Road. Mr. Martell said Ms. Brooks Murray leaves midway through the update. Oh, what a sin. To sit in the back of an ambulance, so it just sounds like she broke. I can't imagine. I just can't imagine. I have my little fella, I already said in one of my other videos, when he went outside in the morning before I was awake, even though we had a child guard on the handle, he was able to slip his little fingers in there and get it open. And I'm telling you, little kids are little buggers. And escape artist. And one time when I was shopping, he took off on me and I couldn't find him. And I went to the cash and I was saying, like, can you do some kind of alert, please, over your, and they wouldn't do it. They were like, no, we don't do that. And I was frantic for that short period. I cannot imagine what this poor mom feels like. And it gets sadder as I read this. You'll see. She departs with her mother, and Mr. Martell said he hasn't seen her since. She cuts off contact with him after this. Well, they were back at the house, and there was the fight that broke out, which I talked about in my other video. And then that's when they parted, and he hasn't seen her since. Poor girl. Both of them. I feel bad for both of them until anything is said otherwise that yes, they were involved and this is the proof. I just at this point don't feel that. May 4th, 2025. Mr. Martell speaks to the Globe and Mail about what happened on the morning the children went missing. Oh, let me make this bigger, guys. Oh. Oh, dear. It's different for me to do it this way. I guess I should only make it that big. Oh, wow. Being a turkey. What's this? Open with. No, I don't want to get into that. I guess we'll just keep it like that. May 4th, 2025, Mr. Martell speaks to the Globe and Mail about what happened on the morning the children went missing. Lily came into the room multiple times. I seen her that morning and Jack was out playing in the kitchen, I'm guessing. And there is a lot of presumptions there because you have to remember them. Well, the mom was dozing in out of sleep. I don't know if he was awake the whole time. He did see Lily coming in and out of the room. He knew what she was wearing. But if he dozed off as well, and that's, why they're presuming that, well, they slid that door open, we didn't hear it, and away they went. So he says, I'm guessing. And they slid open the back sliding door. It's almost silent to hear it sliding. That's the only thing that gets me. And I'm not saying there's anything fishy going on because he's saying that. Just I'm thinking of me ever trying to open a sliding door, and they've never been easy and they've never been quiet. They slid it open. The boots were right beside the door, and they proceeded to, I'm guessing, playing outside. They must have got out through the back fence, and I'm quoting everything he's saying here. This is his dialect. They must have got out through the back fence, and then they were gone. As soon as I seen they were gone, he just says immediately, he leaves out the word I a lot, immediately jumped in the car and did all the dirt roads, all the culverts, checked over the rivers and streams. As soon as I got home, 10 minutes later, I headed out. I didn't miss one, did I? Oh, I might have missed one. I headed out on, I know he says he headed out on foot. Oh, I think I might have missed one there, guys. Sorry. That is May 4th. May 5th. Searchers find no sign. He does say he headed out on foot into the woods while his common law spouse called the authorities. And then when he got back, the RCMP were there. May 5th, 2025. Searchers find no sign of the missing of the children, despite heavily scanning a 4 square kilometer area around their mobile home. A report that the children's boot print is found nearby sparks some focused searching in that area. May 6th. Police take Mr. Martell to the Pictou County District RCMP detachment in the town of Stellarton, where he is questioned for 4 hours. He said he was asked to go over details and timelines to the minute and draw maps where he thinks the children could be. They're easy on me, and this is in quotes from Daniel. They're easy on me because they know I'm telling the truth about everything. Well, that could be why, or they could suspect you and they're playing nice. Daniel Martell, stepfather of Lilly and Jack, speaks to the Globe and Mail at his home in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia. The RCMP requests the help of the Nova Scotia Guard, a provincially organized volunteer group, to aid in the search. More than 160 people assisted, by helicopter, drones, and tracking dogs, eventually take part in the effort to find the children in a heavily wooded area around the family home. The chief of Speakney-Katik First Nation, Michelle Glasgow, addresses speculation around the case and asks people to refrain from jumping to conclusions or sharing unverified information. Exactly, 100%. As this can complicate the efforts of multiple agencies involved in the ongoing investigation. She says the children's maternal grandfather is a member of the Mi'kmaq community. Amy Hansen of Colchester County Ground Search and Rescue says the search has been exhausting and thorough despite the difficult terrain, and that volunteers are not giving up hope to find the children. That was the last one. Okay, this is the last part of the article. May 7th, May 9th. These didn't come up in order for some reason. Okay. May 7th, in the morning, RCMP arrive at the home and ask Mr. Martel to hand over his phone, which he said he did. When asked about how police are investigating the children's disappearance, maternal grandmother Cindy Murray tells the Globe, "We're not discussing anything right now. The police told us not to." And I know people are saying, that's not true. They wouldn't say that. Yes, they would. They would say that. If they, yeah, anyways, they would. As a parent, I wouldn't listen. If I thought my children were actually abducted now, and I'm not saying she's doing anything wrong, this is just me as a parent, and I've always been this way. Everybody knew when it came to my kids, don't mess with my kids because I will correct you and come after you to correct you. So I would have the say. I know you're the police, but if I truly felt my kids were abducted and you're, trying to divide me from my common law spouse because you're going down a path of, well, no, he did something wrong or they did something wrong on that property, and I didn't believe that, and I thought they were abducted, I would be screaming to the moon and back. But that's me. And I'm not saying she's doing anything wrong. She's listening to them and she's doing what they're telling her to do. And again, it's part of the process. Yeah, so I do believe that. I do. There's no reason not to believe it. I don't see why they would say that if that wasn't true. Yeah. Okay, May 8th, 2025. RCMP searched the dense forest behind the home in a helicopter. Plainclothes investigators arrive again to speak with Mr. Martel. And this is him in quotation marks, Daniel. Basically, at this point, they just want to look at any tech that could help match up any phones, excuse me, any phones that could that came into the yard. And I guess the phones can connect to things around, I don't know all that tech, but if there's a router or whatever the case may be. That afternoon, a friend drives him to the Children's Protective Services office in Stellarton, where he requests to see his 16-month-old daughter, but is denied. Man, that has to be hard. If if they didn't do anything to these children, to Jack and Lily, and this whole thing is just sad. You know, imagine, put yourself in their shoes. One day your life is like this, and then the next day or I should say, one day your life is like that, and the next day it's like this, completely torn apart. You know, all three kids are gone. Your common law spouse gone, and this is life now. And I mean, that's tough. Okay. As of now, I can't be around Meadow, he said during an interview the following day. With the kids going missing, Children's Protective Services wants to keep a tight leash on everything. Sad. RCMP scaled back the search for Lilly and Jack, acknowledging it's unlikely the children are still alive. We're not packing up and we're not giving up, says Sergeant Curtis McKinnon, District Commander for Pictou County District RCMP. Mr. Martell said he handed over, and this is what just I thought so sad. Now picture this poor mom. Mr. Martell said he handed over some of the children's stuffed animals to RCMP at the request of Ms. Brooks Murray, Lily's white unicorn, Jack's blue dinosaur. He said he also gave the police the baby's white giraffe and the mom's pink bear. Oh, and I wonder if he bought her that bear. Mr. Martell told the Globe that police advised him they were bringing in cadaver dogs. Okay. And this is May 6th, 7th. What are we up to here? I got to look back now. Today is the 12th. Wow. Okay, so they're bringing in cadaver dogs and RCMP divers to search nearby Lansdowne Lake. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious they're treating this like he's done something wrong. So I believe that was May 7th. No, that was May 8th. Yeah, bringing in the cadaver dogs. Okay. May 9th. I don't think I read this yet. Lilly and Jack have been missing for more than a week. Mr. Martell says he's been exceedingly cooperative, and he certainly has been if he's telling the truth, which, like I said, I doubt he's got police officers all around him while they're interviewing him. I doubt he's standing there saying these lies, right? You know, if none of this is true. And it seems he has been exceedingly cooperative. I gave them everything from my phone. I asked for a lie detector test and drug tests. I'm the one trying to move this forward. And again, because he believes the kids have been kidnapped. So he wants to move this forward, is what he's saying. And give them any information that I have. He adds that police are looking at the wireless router. Oh, it is the router. Geez, that was a good guess. In the home to see who connected to the internet at what times. A large RCMP truck is in the area. Mr. Martell says RCMP scoured Lansdowne Lake from above by helicopter. I didn't know they could do that. And also went into the lake, but found nothing. Okay, good. School board staff say teachers and students at Salt Springs Elementary have been provided with psychologists, good, counselors, and other resources to help with questions and providing calm coping strategies during this difficult time. And that is hard on them, and especially when you're bussed, and it wouldn't just be the kids in the class that know these kids. It'd be the kids on the bus as well, different ages. Okay, so I just want to make sure I read all of those. Yeah, so that is the latest update there, guys. So now I want to go over some other disappearances in Pictou County and closely neighboring counties that do not take long to get there. Half hour, 45 minutes. To travel there, I should say, not get there. Okay, so the first one I wanted to, where did that go? Yes. Okay, so the first one I wanted to show, this just happened in March, 2 months ago. Okay, so this is in Pictou County. So I'm going to share this. This is an incident that just took place 2 months ago. I got to find the right one. This just took place. So this is Royal Canadian Mounted Police on their website. This just took place in Pictou County, and actually not too far from where these kids, I mean, nothing's really too far, but I mean, it's not on the other side of the county. So March 19th, 2025, Pictou County District RCMP is asking for the public's help in identifying a person of interest following a suspicious incident that occurred in Pictou. Yesterday at approximately 10 p.m., RCMP officers responded to a report. So yesterday, so it would have happened on March 18th, I guess. RCMP officers responded to a report of an attempted abduction in the area of Denon Street. Investigators learned that an 18-year-old woman was walking home when she was approached by a man who offered her a ride. When the woman declined, the man exited his pickup truck and attempted to grab her. Exited. I was going to say, that doesn't make sense. The man exited his pickup truck and attempted to grab her. Like, that's scary. The victim was not physically injured and ran for help. The man of interest is described as white and in his 60s. At the time of the incident, he had a long white beard and was wearing a camouflage hat with an antlers emblem on the front, a camouflage jacket, and khaki pants. The vehicle of interest is described as a white Ford extended cab pickup with a black push bar. The truck was heavily rusted, had a very loud exhaust, and had a burned out passenger headlight. And that's a very distinctive description of a vehicle and a person, honestly. And this is still not solved. Anyone with information about this incident, or I mean, there's no update that it has been. It would be updated. Anyone with information about this incident or any security camera footage of the area is asked to contact the Pictou County District RCMP at 902-485-4333 to remain anonymous. Call Nova Scotia Crime Stoppers at 1-800, and this is toll free, 1-800-222-TIPS, which is 8477. Submit a rescue web tip at www.crimestoppers.novascotia.ca, and that also applies for Lilly and Jack as well, for any of these cases that I'm going to go through. Or use the P3 Tips app, and I don't know what that is. All right, next. And these are all unsolved, guys. Okay, so this happened last year around this same time. It'll say the date here. Okay, police say missing New Glasgow woman case still open. Adair Townsend has not been forgotten, and she hasn't been found. She hasn't been located. So these are pictures of her. You can see with her jacket on. They were trying to give a full picture of what her jacket looked like and the hat she would have had on, possibly, and a close-up pic of her. And the last pic on the right is what camera footage picked up at our local, I call it the dump. It's the dump in our county, the one dump, dumping grounds, for garbage. And so that's what the camera picked up. So everybody was sure they were going to find her because the camera picked that up. Now, this was, I believe, the day after she was reported missing that they saw her on the camera there. Very sad because she looks like she's upset. And so everybody thought they're going to find her. She's right there on camera at the dump. And they never found her. They've never found her till this day. And again, if you have any information regarding Adair Townsend has not been forgotten. Pictou District RCMP Corporal Natasha Farrell said on May 21st, so around the same time of year, which I already went over in another video, that it is a time where it's nicer out. People tend to wander more, but she did go for walks at the park. That wasn't uncommon, but she had dementia. And so when she came out of the park, she did a straight line distance instead of taking her turn that she should have taken to go back towards where her home is. Went missing on May 21st. She says that the file for the missing woman remains open, but we do not have any updates. And that's the thing. Then they just wait for the updates for information from the public. To me, it doesn't sound like these are ongoing investigations unless they're going to do their Mr. Big sting. And they did catch, a mother who did unalive her daughter here in Nova Scotia, not in this area, with doing that sting. But I mean, if that's not the case, then excuse me, it's going to go unsolved. We need clues, clothing, video surveillance, something to give us a starting point. So they're wanting the public, information from the public, and that's how this is going to get solved. Townsend, 73, went missing around noon on April 8th. Oh, April 8th. Yeah, this is the update on May. She was last seen in Mount William area the following day, but after ground search and rescue teams conducted, sorry, I think I need a drink. I mean, to wet my whistle. I don't mean a drink. Rescue teams conducted an extensive search for more than a week, requiring an estimated 4,700 volunteer hours. I don't know why that's important. Officials suspended the search for the New Glasgow woman. Farrell said that the RCMP used sophisticated drones and the RCMP K9 unit earlier this month. I definitely need a drink. I might have, well, it's probably time for me to pause and go for I did take a little pause there and get up and stretch, but maybe I need a bigger stretch and grab a glass of water. So yeah, RCMP K9 unit earlier this month as the search briefly resumed, but those efforts came up empty. The drones were out after the volunteer search was stopped, she said. She urged cottage owners to be on the lookout and check their properties for anything that might lead to a break in the case. Yeah, so she was approximately 110 pounds with medium length gray hair at the time she went missing. Townsend was wearing glasses, a gray-blue coat, and black Doc Marten boots. Now, sometimes with cases like this, it ends up sometimes hunters will find her. But in that area, I'm not so sure there's many hunters out there due to the landfill being there, because you probably wouldn't be allowed to hunt around there. Okay, so that's one. Okay, so this young lady, she is not actually from Pictou County, but she entered Pictou County and then went missing as she was traveling through Pictou County. And that really, to me, is suspicious. Like, that tells me there's something going on here. I mean, the woman, this poor woman made it from, I believe it's the valley, up through to this way. And as she's passing through to go where she's going, and then she goes missing in Pictou County. That's kind of scary. I find that scary. A vehicle belonging to woman last seen in South Uniacke, found by RCMP. South Uniacke. I'm not sure where that is. It's not in Pictou County, though, that I'm aware of. Okay, so posted October 2nd, 2024. Last updated October 2nd, 2024. Nova Scotia RCMP say they have now found the vehicle to a woman who went missing in South Uniacke 2 weeks ago. Erica McLeod, who was also known as Erica McCormick, was last seen on September 18th. The Mounties have released an update saying they located the 37-year-old woman's Chevrolet Traverse on September 26, parked near highway marker 193. So that would be September 26, 2024. Parked near highway marker 193 of Highway 104 in Kentville, Pictou County. The RCMP says several tips have come in, but the search continues for McLeod, who was known to frequent Pictou County, Glooscap First Nation, and Kings County, and the Halifax Regional Municipality. According to the RCMP, she has brown hair, hazel eyes, and distinctive tattoos on both hands. Which they don't tell us what they are, if they're distinctive, could you tell us what they are? She's approximately 5'4" and 100 pounds. Anyone with any information on the whereabouts of McLeod is asked to contact East Hants District RCMP at 902-883-7077 or your local office. I always think it's probably easiest to just contact your local office. Reach out to whatever's nearest to you. They're going to assist you. And then again, if you wish to remain anonymous, Nova Scotia Crime Stoppers, 1-800-222-TIPS, which is 8477. Or you can go to www.crimestoppers.novascotia.ca or use the app, 3P Tips app. Sad. Okay, which one do we want to do next? Okay, so this is missing person, Kalina Trask. Now, she is in the neighboring county here in Pictou County. Like I said, not a far distance at all. Missing person, help the RCMP find Kalina Trask, November 15th, 2024. Colchester County District RCMP is looking for information in relation to the suspicious disappearance of 32-year-old Kalina Trask. She was last seen in Truro at approximately 8:20 p.m. on November 5th and reported missing to police on November 14th. Kalina has blonde hair and blue eyes. She is approximately 5'1", she's tiny, and 135 pounds. When last seen, she was wearing a black or dark-colored winter jacket and a brown toque. Kalina Trask also uses the name Kelly or Megan. Maybe Megan is her middle name. Kelly is short for Kalina. Kalina. That's a pretty name, Kalina. When someone goes missing, it has deep and far-reaching impacts for the person and those who know them. Yes, people, keep that in mind. We ask that people spread the word through social media respectfully. Very nice. And that's the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. So they're not saying don't spread it, but do it respectfully. And that's what I'm trying to do. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Kalina Trask is asked to contact the Colchester County District RCMP at 902-893-8620. And then the rest of the information is the same as I read. You can reach out to those other areas. And again, it's probably easiest to go to your local excuse me, office and receive help from there. We have, I think, 2 more guys. 1, 2, yeah. 2. RCMP, and this is in Pictou County again, RCMP identify burned remains found in Pictou County of missing woman man. The RCMP says, okay, posted December 4th, 2024. Now, see how close all this is? This is just within the last couple of years, this stuff has been taking place. The RCMP says a homicide investigation is underway after human remains found in a burned vehicle in Pictou County. And this took place not too far from where Lilly and Jack went missing. This is in the similar community there. Actually, it'd be right near where their school, right around their school that they attend. The RCMP says a homicide investigation is underway after human remains found in a burned out vehicle in Pictou County. Last month, they were identified as a woman who was missing from Truro and a man from Alberta. On November 9th, the Mounties responded to reports of an abandoned, burned vehicle on McLean Road and Green Hill, and human remains were found inside the vehicle. I did pause and go get a drink, but it's just so much reading. My throat it gets hard to talk. It's just because of my left side issues. And my husband, who he's a truck driver, and his job, he goes to the farms. It has to do with milk. He actually went to the farm the day that he went to this farm where the vehicle was found in the field. And he was speaking to the man who reported this. It was on his property. And he showed him pictures that he had taken when he went and found it. He had taken some pictures on his phone. And because at first they were saying that it was one person in the vehicle. And my husband when he come home, he told me it was two, and that I didn't even know that they were saying one. It was later I read it. He was saying two. I looked at the pictures, and he told me about it, and he said, and the farmer took pictures and he showed me, and there was two people in it. I could see one in the front and one in the back. And then I was reading about it, and it was saying one person found in the vehicle. And I was like, well, my husband said two anyways. And then eventually it was two people in the truck. Okay. 5 days later, I think I read all that. In November, yeah. 5 days later, the RCMP started investigation. 5 days later, the RCMP started investigation the reported disappearance of Kelly Trask. Okay, why is that not sounding right? On November 9th, the Mounties responded to reports of an abandoned, burned vehicle on McLean Road in Green Hill, and human remains were found inside the vehicle. 5 days later, the RCMP started an investigation. The reported disappearance. Should have been a comma there. The reported disappearance of Kelly Trask, 32, from Truro. So the other woman I read who said it's a bordering county. She was from Truro as well. So now this is another woman who was reported missing, and she was also from Truro. And said the circumstances around her disappearance were suspicious. The human remains have been now identified as those of Trask and Tyler McGarr, 34, from Grand Prairie, Alberta. The RCMP says the murder investigation is being supported by the fire marshal and the medical examiner service. Anyone with information is asked to get in touch with police or Crime Stoppers, and I already gave you that information. So this woman was missing as well, from Truro, neighboring county, very close. Nova Scotia's small, so any counties, are pretty close together. Any neighboring counties are pretty close. Yeah. And she was found, and that's unsolved. And she was found in Pictou County. And this all happened within the last couple of years. And I'm not sure if a lot of other people are realizing this. You know, I read this stuff. I probably wouldn't realize it if I was still working, but because I'm not working, I do a lot of reading now. And I learn about stuff like this. Okay, so this is an update on a little boy who, again, went missing in the neighboring county. His name is Dylan Ealer, and again, it's Truro again, which is the town, but it's in the neighboring county. And with this double highway now, it's so quick to get back and forth. So I think I'll play this video for you guys. So this is marking the 5 years since Dylan Ealer disappeared. And Dylan disappeared on May 6, 2020. So again, around the same time as Jack and Lilly Sullivan here in Pictou County. This was just done though on, when was this? This was published May 6, 2025. So this was actually published during the search for Jack and Lilly. So we'll play this.
Today, May 6, marks 5 years. A somber anniversary today, May 6, marks 5 years since a Truro child went missing. Dylan Ealer was 3 years old when he disappeared from his grandmother's house in May of 2020.
Oh.
Investigators believe Dylan fell into a stream and was swept away. The only thing searchers found were his boots. Truro police say the missing persons case is still open. Meantime, a search in Truro will be held by volunteers at the end of the month.
Sad. And his father still looks for him. And I guess he went down to that body of water every day for the longest time, looking for him. So, yeah. So it's assumed that he was swept away. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. Sad. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. And I just, I thought it was important for people to know there's other stuff going on here in Pictou County. There's other missing people. I was very shocked. I had no idea there was a possible or there was an attempted abduction in Pictou County, the town of Pictou, which is in Pictou County, until Jack and Lilly went missing. And I was looking up articles for them, and that came up as well because I had put in Pictou County. And when I read that, I was kind of shocked because that is not things that take place typically here in Pictou County. Like, that's a very rare thing. And then a couple of months later, to have 2 children going missing as well, which is not a common thing to have take place here in Pictou County. It's, I don't know. It makes me wonder. Anyways, guys, leave your comments in the comments section. Please, remember all these missing people. If you know anything, report it. And just hope and pray that they find Jack and Lily. Fingers crossed that there's still any possibility, hope at all that they could still be alive. Don't be harsh on the parents until we know more. I mean, if they did do something to those kids, then hey, you know, but right now we don't know that. We don't know that. So just keep in mind that there could have been something else that took place here. So goodbye for now. Stay safe. Have a great day. Lots of love. And stay safe, guys. Bye.